Good evening. Welcome to another exciting episode of Littleton Pmbc. This is Wednesday, July 28th. I'm going to try to share my screen and bring up the agenda. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I'll enlarge it a little bit.
Move it up some, Steve, if you can. There you go.
So the call to order, we're going to defer the warrant and the meeting minutes until we have a quorum. So we'll move on to the library. Brian, can you give us an update?
Sure. Thanks for having me. Library is going along very well. We're coming in towards the finish line here. We've got about a month left per the construction schedule. There are a few things that I wanted to bring up to PMBC regarding some new developments that we've had and some of the financial aspects, Steve, that I wanted to bring up to your attention. I brought a PCO that Commodore is recommending and that I've gone over with them and that I've recommended to you about a credit change order to the owner that will bring Commodore's contract back to their GMP. That way that it actually will it'll lessen the amount of administrative work that will need to be done on the amount of buckets, but it'll also help restore the entire contingency that the owner had. I've gone through it, their line items. It would behoove the town to, in my opinion, to go this route. So I'm not sure if it's something that you wanted to vote on or if it's something that you needed anything further from me. But if we could get an opinion one way or the other soon, their next pencil rec is going to reflect one way or the other, whichever way that I tell them to go.
So is this pretty much an administrative item, or is it is there a change order involved, or is it just a accounting issue?
It's mainly accounting.
We
the change order that would be given back to us from Commodore would be a credit change order for roughly $155,000.
Well, if it's a credit change order, we probably should review it. When is their next invoice due? Well, it's probably sometime next month.
They just provided me their pencil rec. So I do have that PCO of the credit of what they're proposing. What that number is it pretty much absorbs all of the change orders to date that we've done on the project that we're going to be paid for on the owner side, both approved and potential, and Commodore absorbed them into their GMP. But at the same point, we would not be getting anything in return on the buyout that they had received on a couple of their items. So out of we'll call it 200 light items that they have, they're over in some buckets, they're under in other buckets.
Oh, okay, Brian, this is what you and I talked about. Is kind of a global settlement.
That's correct.
Yep. I think, yes, we do need to vote on it. We probably should understand the details of it. So if you can forward that to the committee, I don't think we can include it in this pencil rec because we need to understand a little bit more about it.
Okay, sure. Then I will. I'll provide that to you.
Do you agree, Bob?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with it in principle. Certainly, it avoids quite a bit of unnecessary paperwork, but we do need to understand, the give and take.
Yep. So I'll take the email I sent to you and Mark last week. I'll distribute that to everyone in the PMBC.
That would be great. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
Steve, what Brian's talking about is done all the time. And it helps. It's not just simplification of paperwork, because you wouldn't want to, we got a fiduciary responsibility here. We want the best for the town. And in many cases, by going through this negotiation that Brian's done with Commodore, you end up with the best for the town.
I agree. I agree.
It shouldn't be looked at in any way, shape, or form as an elimination of paperwork. That's not the case.
Well, that's part of it, Rich. But the it is done all the time and it's in the best interest of both parties. We just went through it on a project that I'm involved with at MBTA, and
Yeah.
it was, it's best practice.
That's a better way of describing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So, at any rate, I think, Rich, would you agree that we should look at the details?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Brian, if you can forward that over to us, we'll vote on that at the next meeting.
Sure. Okay. A couple other milestones that we have coming up in the schedule. The trustees and the library staff is scheduled a tentative 9/24 for the grand opening of the building. Hopefully we'll be operating before then. The big question mark that we have right now are delivery dates for furniture. We're finding that that's one of the industries that's been hit hardest with material and deliveries and lead times is our furniture dates. So we're in the process of nailing them down. They're coming in different stages and different deliveries, but we're hoping to have a majority of the furniture package and shelving package in the building before any type of opening. So stay tuned on that, but we're working with that. On the 9th of August, we have our fire alarm test. We have our BDA that's been installed. So the Littleton Fire has been informed. There's going to be a walkthrough with their representative as well as Commodore to do a test on the fire alarm and the BDA system. On the 5th of August, Verizon will be back on site. They'll be pulling their service into the IT cabinet. And then that service will be pulled down to the elevator machine room as we need a phone line that comes out of the elevator cab for any type of emergency that will dial 911 from there. That's also been working in conjunction with the Littleton IT department. She'll be installing the switches and the internet service and the access control points throughout the building. And we've been working with the AV vendor as well as the security vendor to get them on board and get buttoned up, hopefully by middle of next month. One note, I believe that Mark Rambacher, who's not here at the meeting, he has been speaking with Anthony. I know he was going to be calling in earlier regarding a invoice from the engineer of record for putting the bid package together for the solar panels. Mark is going to be talking with you, Steve, about probably who and when that, who would sign for that proposal. The proposal just for the bid package and the construction administration is $7,500 to put out to bid and to kind of run the construction administration portion of that. While there is a story behind where the funding would be coming from with state earmarks and grants, while that's not been received yet, he's been working hard on trying to get the project moving so that that can happen sooner rather than later.
So, Brian, would you be involved in that as the OPM?
Yeah, I'm still there involved in the project right now, so I'd definitely be helping with GGD, putting that out to bid, getting us advertised in the central register, and ultimately getting that across the finish line. The longest part of that job is going to be waiting around for the solar panels to arrive.
Right.
Steve, is that a separate project though from this project here? Or, I mean, the funding was for the library, not for the solar panels, right?
So the solar panels, and Brian can elaborate on this, much of the funding is coming from the state?
Yes. So the solar panels were part of the project. We had it as an alternate on this project, and we didn't pick it up at bid time due to funding sources. Mark was able to secure some sort of state funding that hopefully would take care of all, if not most, of the cost of this. I'm not sure exactly when that funding is going to arrive. Another kind of caveat in this is the quicker we can get these solar panels up on the roof, it also can play into the lead submission from our architect to see what lead category we fall into. If the solar panels can help, that might jump us up into a better lead category, therefore getting us a better incentive kickback. So there could be, there's a few incentives to getting this done as quick as possible.
Hey, Mark, you're going to be involved. Are you going to be involved at all in this the design part of the solar panels? Because I got a request to make.
Mark's not here, but the solar panel design is, it's actually already been done because it was part of the contract documents that was pulled out as an alternate that we did not take. So the bid package that the engineer is going to be doing is pretty much scaling down the contract documents and making it a very slimmed down version of just the design of the solar panels that were originally designed.
Could I have a copy of that? Because I want to be sure that the solar panels have a half-life, have at least 80% after 20 years.
Sure.
There are some brands that drop to 60% and 50%. The next generation solar panels last, well, give you as much as 80, 88 and 89% after 20 years. And I'd like to see if we have that kind of language in there.
I'll send you what the spec was in the original contract documents. That's probably going to mimic what they're putting together soon once they get the okay
All right,
on
because
this.
if we're not going to get the 88 and 89%, then we want to revise the document before it goes out to bid.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rich. Thanks.
Yeah.
My last comment that I do have is we are doing our paving at the end of this week. We've notified Town Hall and all the staff that we're going to be paving up towards Shattuck Street on the tennis court side of the building. We notified the DPW and the building inspector to come out and take a look. At that time, the DPW director informed us that we need to, even if we weren't doing the extra paving that the PMBC voted on, we would still need to rebuild the ramps that are on either side of that sidewalk.
Yep.
So in the spirit of trying to keep our schedule, I believe we're going to continue paving this Friday and get our paving done, as our civil engineer is now preparing kind of a generic spec on how we're going to carve out a lot of the bituminous that we have on those sidewalks right now and pour some concrete with that is Mass DOT code with the tactile strips that's approved by the DPW. So ultimately, that's something that the project's going to have to absorb as well, as we did encroach into Shattuck Street with some of the service that we needed to cut into.
Yeah, I saw that email, and that will come out of owner contingency, right?
Correct. I would consider that either a contingency or, even a utility back charge, because we had to get into the Shattuck Street with our gas and water services.
Right.
So
right.
It's a different bucket, but ultimately it's something that we're going to have to pay for. So I just got a sketch from our civil engineer. I'm going to review it for tomorrow. We'll have that issued. But I didn't want it holding up our paving that we're going to be doing on Friday and the subsequent striping that we're going to do on Monday.
Agreed.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
If you want, I do have did you want me to show a couple pictures, Steve?
Sure. Yeah.
They're unfortunately I don't have credentials. If LCTV would like to give me shared screen permissions.
Where'd our man go?
Sorry, I gave you a co-host. I think you should be
Thank
able
you.
to start. Yep.
There we go.
I don't think you can see this, can you?
Where's the family cookout? Only kidding. Only kidding.
You had something up there, Brian.
You
There you
see
go.
this?
Yeah.
This is one of the conditions that we have where you can see the bituminous and the concrete that we have. Ultimately, when we finish this driveway, we're probably gonna, if you can see my cursor, probably gonna have to bring the sidewalk back to this panel and pour a new slope sidewalk with a new stick of granite with the tactile strip to meet code, not only on this side, but on the town hall side as well. Since this picture's been taken, these two trees have been taken down as well, next to the tennis court that was taken down by the town.
Okay.
Let me see here.
You said the town took him down, Brian?
Yes, unbeknownst to me, we got an email last night that the tree warden was he wasn't impressed with the root systems of the trees that were next to the tennis courts. So before we did our finished paving, they were able to get down there with their their cherry picker and cut down 2 of the pines that were next to it.
So they did us a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Ultimately, there's 2 trees that are out behind the building of the library as well, that are leaning a little. They look to be a bit compromised. That's currently on the agenda right now for Concom, as it's in the buffer zone. If those do indeed get voted to be taken down, then the town will be doing that work as well.
That's down by the fire road, right?
That's correct. They'd have to utilize the fire road in order to cut those down.
Yep.
Did a new picture of the teen room come up with lighting?
No,
Yeah.
No,
No, okay. Then I am doing this incorrectly. One moment. Shot of the front.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
So the paving is scheduled for what? Next week?
Friday.
Oh, this Friday. Okay, good.
Yes. I apologize. I'm having some issues sharing these, but I will. Let's see what I got here.
technology.
Give everyone a good shot of the interior right now. We're hoping to have some punch list from our architect and engineer of record in the next 2 weeks, but it can show you a good view of the interior lobby as you walk in the front door and look to your right. You can see the soffits are fully built now. The glass walls for the study rooms have been installed. The pieces of wood here on the carpet are actually floor boxes where furniture will be, that will be powered into the desks. To your left here, you have a private study as well. To your right, you'll have a collections. And around the corner will be our IT room. Someone put it pretty smartly. It's kind of like the heartbeat of the building, which we will be running all of our technology out of that room.
Brian, is this lack of furniture gonna slow the opening date down?
That's my nightmare, and I hope not. But as I'm seeing in other jobs too, specifically in the other library, it's not that the vendors are at fault. They're just not getting the material sometimes in time. So right now we've got a majority of the furniture set to be delivered around 9/1. And we have some others that have some dates that are towards the end of the month. So what I have Johnson Roberts doing is giving me a full spreadsheet of what exactly we feel is going to be close to that date. And in speaking with the trustees and Sam, if there's some furniture in the existing library that's going to get either tossed or relocated, maybe it can be reused for a week or 2 for the time being, whether if it's a conference table or a small workstation. But optimistically, I think we have a majority of the furniture ready to be delivered that first week of September.
Right. So can we kind of just move on to the police station, because we're kind of getting on in the meeting, and Anthony wants to talk about the senior center at some point.
Got it. I'll make it quick. The police division's going pretty well. The masonry is about 95% done. Currently right now, they're just doing some of our allowance work that we have per the contract. They're grinding out some of the joints that we needed. That decorative band that goes around the perimeter of the building, we've instructed to use our allowances on the tops and the joints of that band to carve all that out and make a nice new seal on the top so that water doesn't sit on top and we have that dirty band condition that we've had for the past few years.
Right.
We've looked at a few conditions that they've had with the cleaning of the bricks and the masonry. Things look good on that front. Spoke with the roofer. The roof cap will be on site within the next week, and then that will be installed. So the roof would be complete. The masonry would be complete. And unfortunately, the bad news I have is I still don't have a date for our windows. And so I put a pretty stern call into the project manager of the waterproofing company, asking if we needed to put this filed sub bid on notice. He agreed, and he called me today saying that he hopes to have an update for me tomorrow. He's just now speaking with the owner of the company. So more updates to follow, but if there's no progress in the next few days, then ultimately we would have to start taking steps towards other ramifications towards them.
So is there a particular issue with the windows? Is it the tint? Is it the material of the windows? Do we know what the issues are?
No. So we had a call about 6 weeks ago talking about the finish, the powder coating finish of the window that we wanted. That went well. We thought it was released. We then picked an opaqueness of the window. And like 5 weeks later, I received the paperwork saying that was going to cost more money. And so that was news to me. I had absolutely no idea why. So I kind of threw that back in CBI and waterproofing companies court, saying that I have no intention of even addressing this. So that's where we stand, and I still don't have a date yet. So I've ramped up the pressure quite a bit, and I'm hoping to get something by the end of this week.
Okay.
Sub bonded.
Excuse me?
Is the sub bonded?
Yes.
The window sub?
Yes.
He is. Okay. A letter, nice letter to the bonding company will certainly help.
Sure. That's of course.
What manufacturer are they using?
I don't know, Rich.
My next suggestion would be to touch base with the manufacturer directly to make sure that they actually are ordered and they're in production.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Okay.
maybe just get a purchase order from the subcontractor. I wouldn't go directly to the window company.
If I were worried that these guys are not performing, if they haven't ordered the windows, I mean, I wouldn't hesitate one bit to talk to the manufacturer. If there's any question that these guys are, who knows? They might be going under. And it's happened to me before.
Right.
They're using the money that we in their last rec test just to pay somebody else's bills.
But we haven't paid them anything, right?
We've paid their first requisition. That was the email that I'd sent you last week, Steve, is that I'd like to hold on their requisition for review, because I wasn't comfortable with the general conditions being paid if they're not managing the subs correctly. So I wanted to get the answers that I needed first. So
Okay.
That's a good approach.
I'll let Brian handle it on his end then.
Yep.
Yeah. Besides that, the quality of the masonry on site looks really good. The quality of the cap on the roof looks really nice. Once cleaned, they did a mock-up of the cleaning they're doing on the band. It really starts to pop. I think the building's going to look really nice after it's done.
Okay.
Great.
Anything else on police station? Any questions? Okay,
No.
thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn it over to Rich for an update on the Houghton building.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got.
Sorry, Rich, can I jump in for a second and interrupt you? I apologize, but Steve, I'm doing double duty, so I'm at the planning board meeting. That's why I'm on my phone. And I want to jump back in there. Can we do a brief? Can we just jump into the senior center,
Yeah.
Rich, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah. I was going to bring it up under member input, but go ahead.
All right. Yeah, it just I just want to I haven't spoken to you guys. First of all, it's great to see everybody again.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Welcome aboard.
Thank I would come to more meetings, but I've been extremely busy. So the senior center project, as you know, at town meeting, we got the warrant article had two parts to it. It had the feasibility study for $80,000, and then it had the $1 million for design. So when we kind of worked on those numbers, we were basing the square footage or the price per square foot on what the price per square foot for the library was. And it's in factoring in that a 15,000 square foot building, that's where we come up with roughly $10 million all in on that. Now, hopefully it's less, but I think what you found with the library is that the site work adds some considerable cost building off of a cliff, and we're certainly going to have the same issue with the home of the Elder and Human Services department and seniors. So
So how much is the construction cost, Anthony?
we don't have that yet. So we're waiting. Right now, we got to do the feasibility study and definitely have the construction cost, and we'll be asking for that at the spring town meeting.
So about a year and a half ago, I met with the COA board of directors, or the committee, and we brought in the director from Groton, and I was involved in the senior center in Groton. And I think there were a lot of lessons learned there. So I don't know if they've been incorporated.
So, Steve, right now, what we're doing is we're actually touring facilities, and one of the ones that we went to this past week was Groton, and I did have a conversation as well with the former director. She's gone now. She left Groton to go to North Andover. I think they're building a senior center up there, from what I hear. So yeah, there's definitely lessons to be had, and I think that's why when we're getting a warrant article prepared for this past annual town meeting, that we looked at what they originally had, and it was determined from looking at Groton that a lot of that space is swing space, so it doesn't necessarily, we don't need a room for every different function. If it's done correct with scheduling, and even with the what we found with the multi-purpose rooms, that they have that dividable wall, which can create another two rooms. So I think Groton did a good job with theirs, and certainly their cost is considerably less because they're dealing with a nice flat piece of earth. Unfortunately, we don't have that. But you're right, Steve. I think that it certainly opened our eyes to say, do we need a 25,000 square foot center? No, I don't think we do. I think that, the two that we visited this week, we were in Marlboro. Marlboro was, first of all, it's a city with 40,000 people, and their senior center was 22,000 square feet, two floors. That was interesting, but believe it or not, when they started and they built it, they only built the first floor, and then 2 years later, they expanded into the second floor with the very basic walls, nothing fancy there. In Groton, when we visited Groton was just shy of 11,000 square foot feet and fully functional. So we're definitely learning from that, and I think
Anthony, the backstory to Groton was they went to town meetings saying that because the original Groton Senior Center included some pool tables, and there was a hue and cry about that, so they shot it down. So they went to the second town meeting saying that it would be under 12,000 square feet.
Right.
It came in just 11,900.
Yes.
Whatever.
Right.
So there was politics heavily involved in that.
Yeah, it was funny because they told us that story again. The town administrator gave us the tour there and gave us a lot of the backstory again with that. So you're right, Steve.
Yeah, he's a character.
Yeah. Great information though. But those pool tables are actually, they were saying Marlboro had two, and actually Groton's considering putting in a second one because I guess they're getting a lot of use on those. But anyways,
yeah.
So at this point, it's really just looking at some senior centers and getting some ideas and running our architect. And we did have a representative. Brian couldn't make it, so we did have a representative from Vertex with us on the tour too. So I envision over the next couple of weeks that we had a list of about 6 to 8 that we wanted to see. So various parts of the state. So we're going to schedule again some next week and go out and look at them. In the meantime, Ashley left, as I'm sure you're all aware. So certainly not, the timing wasn't the best. So I anticipated having a bit of a slowdown without having a director, but as you probably know, we hired back Liz Trediak. So Liz is going to be returning to us, and she'll be in August 30th. So we're going to still continue on and do some tours and ramp up for when Liz gets back. And then I think really start kicking this off more so once she gets aboard.
So Anthony, will this be part of the town hall use, whatever that project is, reuse?
Space needs study.
Space needs, right.
Well, this is a phase of it. The center, or whatever it's called, is a phase of that. But we haven't addressed what happens when the library vacates and what we can do with there. We all know the restrictions as far as what we can do. So that hasn't been addressed yet.
So, the reason I'm asking is because the library project is a change order to the space needs project. And PMBC doesn't have any direct control over that program. So, I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's something that, Steve, we certainly will plan on bringing PMBC into it. It's just right now, without having a director, we're kind of just doing some tours right now. So I value of working together and working through this. We're not really there yet, but we will be, hopefully.
Yeah, be glad to help.
Yeah.
Anthony, just selfishly to ask you, is your intention to do a few more tours and then maybe have kind of like a group powwow to talk about the pros and cons of everything that everyone has seen at that point? Is that how we want to go about it?
Yeah, exactly, Brian. So they're going to do a shared Google Drive where, they took a ton of pictures, LLB. So we're going to throw those out there and do just that. Have that powwow. What do we like about this? What do we not like about that? And kind of take some of the best ideas from a bunch of senior centers and incorporate it into our building.
Okay.
One thing I liked about the Groton Senior Center was that they had rooms around the perimeter and then a core, and then they had a corridor that kind of went around so people could basically use it as a walking path. It was a continuous corridor between the core and the outer offices and conference rooms that was designed for walking.
Yeah, I remember her saying that too, Steve. And because all of their rooms are all glass, my question on that is that distracting to some groups that are doing programming in there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they went with all that glass, but I understand that. Yep.
Actually, the reason why they went with the glass is because, similar to us, when you don't have a lot of staff, it gives staff the ability to really look down a hallway and be able to see in all of these rooms. So that's why Kathy did glass. That's what she explained to me. So I thought that was interesting.
Yep. Okay. Well, those are details to be worked out. And anything else, Anthony?
No, that's it. I just wanted to, have a quick second to talk to you guys, let you know that, obviously we had no intentions of shutting PMBC out of this. We're not there yet, I think. And at some point, we will be, and we'll be going full steam ahead.
Yeah. Be glad to get involved.
Steve, can I ask Anthony a question before he leaves?
Sure.
Yeah, Anthony, what is the reason PMBC was not involved in any way for the new water treatment plant?
That's LELWD, Rich. You'd have to ask the commissioners over there that question, and Nick.
Yeah, typically we don't get involved with LEWD or LE Littleton Electric.
I don't
Right,
think
Ellie,
We've never been involved with them.
right, never been.
Never.
I'm surprised.
Although, you know, we were we were involved, Rich, as you well know, with DPW and the fuel storage facility.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and we're a resource. I'm just surprised they hadn't tapped into us at all.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
Well, and that's that, and Rich, that's a great point. And that's why I wanted to come before you guys. You are a resource, and it's something that I certainly value the input that this board has, and I just want you to be aware that I certainly plan on making sure that you guys are that asset is utilized.
You know, when,
Yeah,
when
Rich was extremely instrumental in the fuel storage facility over there.
Yes, yeah,
Anthony, they had a set of specs that were totally from a different project, and there was stuff in those specs that would have gone out for bid that we didn't even need. There was stuff that wasn't in the specs that we definitely needed, and nobody had the expertise, but you know, myself, to spot that and basically rewrite the specs for Jimmy Clyde, so he got a fuel facility that works.
mm-hmm.
These architects, and engineers too, they don't draft a project from the beginning. They take bits and pieces from all the other projects they've done and merge them into one drawing for the new projects, and you know, and then we get what we get. So the light and water, the pump facility, that's a building. You know, it's got a lot of piping inside, but it's a building, and it's got energy requirements, and it's going to have doors and windows in it, and it's going to have a heating system in it. It's got all the basic components of a building, and that's what we do. I'm just, you know, are they going to have that building?
So, Rich, why don't we just reach out to it's not Lawler anymore, but whoever's
Yeah,
in
Nick
charge.
Lawler. It's Nick Lawler.
Oh, is it
Because-
Nick?
Yes.
Technology-wise, we want to make sure the HVAC system is coordinated with the rest of the town's buildings.
Yeah, let's just reach out to Rick and or Nick and offer our services.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks, Anthony. We'll let you get back to planning.
Okay. All right. Well, it's great seeing everybody. Feel free to reach out with any questions anytime.
Same here.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
All
Good
right.
seeing you again, Anthony.
Thanks, Bob. Nice seeing you too.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
Rich, over to Houghton.
Yeah, I got 3 subcontractors that are in the process of giving me pricing for a new heating. I'll call it a climate control system, because it's heating, cooling, humidification, and dehumidification. It's climate control. And the upstairs is a different type of climate than the basement. So I wrote up a spec. I sent it out to the 3 firms. One I got from Joe. They used at some point, the town used, and the second one was the company that has the boiler maintenance contract with the Houghton building, and then the third was a company that we used to put a split system in the clerk's office. So all 3 companies are familiar with working with Littleton, and I just haven't heard back from one of them, and I'm trying to get confirmation from the other 2 that, you know, they got prevailing wage. And once I get everybody's proposal in and they've all got prevailing wage, and I'll descope them. I wrote the spec up in such a way that I left it up to the contractor to help us design a system or offer a system that would meet certain parameters that we needed for that.
A performance spec.
Performance, that's the word.
Yeah.
So in addition to de-scoping them for wages. So we're going to be de-scoping them for whoever's got the best performance.
Right, so we expect some kind of pricing in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, I got two prices back already. Both in the 20-ish range.
Good.
Yeah, so it's about where I thought the budget would be for this type of system.
Okay. All right, thanks, Rich. We'll move on. You know what we have to do? We have to go back to the warrant and the meeting minutes because we didn't have a quorum then. So I'm going to share my screen, I think. We'll go back to
Sorry about coming in late. But I made it.
that's the important part. Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen. Can you guys see that?
Nope.
Not yet.
Oh, I forgot to hit share. Okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll enlarge it a little bit. So this is the warrant. We've got a number of items. The first one is government connection monitors and desktops for the library, $11,440. Second item is government connection again, desktops for the library, $27,500. The third item is Johnson & Roberts for the library, June invoice, $26,210.24. The fourth item is Johnson & Roberts. The February invoice somehow got lost, $20,351.04. Thrive Networks, which is a wireless access that was requested by the IT department, $41,033.48. The Vertex Company for the police station for June, it was $18,360. Vertex OPM services for June for the library, $12,932. And Vertex services for the library for March, $21,076 for a total of $184,902.76. Any questions, discussions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Bob Romley approves. Roll call vote. Rich Crowley.
Oh, do we have a second?
Oh yeah. Do we have a second? Who's going to second that?
I can second it.
Tamlin seconds it. Okay, roll call vote. Bob,
Bob Rumley, yes.
Timlin,
Timlin Rassius, yes.
Rich,
Rich is a yes as well.
and is Brian still with us?
Brian Force is here.
Yeah.
No, Brian wasn't with us, Steve.
Oh, I'm the fourth. Sorry. Steve Moore, yes. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And the meeting minutes from, what was that?
14.
July 14th.
July 14th. I modified those yesterday. Any questions?
Yeah, a Bob caught one where I wrote June instead of July as far as when the next meeting. So I've fixed that already.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we accept the meetings of July 14th.
So Bob Romley makes
Bob
a
Romley.
motion. Do we have a second? Timlin, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't unmute myself. Sorry. I'm like, I can't unmute. I'll second it. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Roll call vote. Bob,
Bob Rumley, yes.
Timlin,
Timlin Rassius, yes.
Rich,
Rich is a yes as well.
Steve Moore, yes. Motion carries. Thanks very much. we'll move on to member input. Bob,
I'm all set, Steve.
Dylan,
I'm all set.
Rich?
I'm good. I like these Zoom meetings, by the way.
So do I.
Hope we can keep them.
I know. You know, it takes more time to travel back and forth to town hall than to do these meetings.
Oh, my God.
I know that they just said that we could keep them until the 22nd of April of 22.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That's
Okay,
great.
And Steve Moore, yes, so motion carries. Do we have a motion for the ever popular adjournment?
I'll make a motion to
I'll
adjourn.
second it, Bob Romley.
Second by Bob. Roll call vote, Bob,
Bob Romley, yes.
Timlin,
Timlin Rossius, yes.
Rich,
Rich is yes as well. Rich Crowley is yes
and
as well.
Steve Moore, yes, as well. Thanks very much, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Great.
Okay,
Bye,
Thank you
all.
all.
thanks all. Bye-bye.
And to all a good night.
End the recording.